Hey friends, this is Marilyn. This is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com, and my husband, John, and I did a video earlier, and I mentioned how we were just probably happy just to stay in the parking lot of the hotel. And because we came from southern New Jersey, so it was about an 8-hour trip. And they were telling us when we arrived, don't even think of going into Niagara Falls. You'll never get in. It's a madhouse.
We did.
And they kept that was the word on the street. So I figured, well, we'll be happy if we just hang out in the parking lot with all these other, veterans. We were staying at the Air Reserve
Base.
Air Reserve Base of Niagara Falls, right? So we figured we'd be very happy just to, we've been to Niagara Falls many times. We didn't feel like we were missing anything by not being at the falls. We didn't feel like we were being cheated or anything. So, we just sat around, and around what time? Like around 12 o'clock.
Right.
We look out the window because we figured, well, maybe a crowd will start coming. There was like nobody in the parking lot. Everybody left the place. Everybody went someplace. So we're like the only two people in this hotel. And I thought, oh my God, we're just going to be sitting outside in the parking lot, just two of us. It'll be so weird, because we wanted to experience it with people, right? So he's like, you know what, we probably got to get in the car to try to go to Niagara Falls, And I'm like, we're never going to get over, because everybody said it's impossible. Man, we were in from
nothing.
Like in 20 minutes, like normal time.
Right.
We got there in normal time.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all, no issue whatsoever. We got a parking spot, and of course now when we get on the banks, we figured if we made it here, we made it into town, we need to sit by the river. I mean, come on, we got here, so we might as well sit in a choice spot, right? So we kept walking and walking and walking, and we get to a really nice spot where we can see a glimpse of the falls. But we're sitting by the river, but we can see some of the falls, So we figured that's a good spot. But of course, it was super cloudy. How did you feel when we first got here? It was so cloudy,
Yeah.
And we figured, oh well, we were joking. We're like, we travel 8 hours to sit here with a million other people, because of course Niagara Falls is a state park, So there are a lot of. It's a state park, or is it a?
State park.
It's a state park. But people come from all over the world all the time, So there were a lot of people who came for this event. But we surmised that the reason we were able to get in so easily was because the word on the street, of course, was that it was supposed to be so cloudy. Who wants to travel all that distance and, just to have a cloudy day? Well, let me tell you something. So that's probably the only reason why we be able to get here so quick. So we find ourselves a nice spot. We sit down. It's super cloudy. We're joking about how we're never going to see anything, And then I get the idea to pull out my sky map app, and to put it up there just to see what's going on. And I could see that the eclipse was actually occurring, but because it was so cloudy, we couldn't see it. It was maybe 40%, So I was like, oh my God, this eclipse is actually happening right now. Now, it was cloudy. It was getting dark, but it wasn't it wasn't like seriously dark. And should I pause? We never even looked at our menu. Okay, sorry about that. So I don't remember what we were talking about.
Talking about just seeing through the clouds a little bit.
Oh yeah, so I took out the app. That's right. I took out the app, and so we could tell that the thing was going on. So we alerted the area. It's like, oh, there's a couple of people saw what I was doing, so they realized that there was an event. That I was watching it on the phone. So then we all started paying attention to the sky. So I noticed in the distance that there were some distance, like it would probably take a half an hour to get to us kind of distance, But I noticed when we had first gotten there that there were some blue patches of sun, like in the distance, right? So I thought, there's a chance that it'll clear up by the time it happens. It'll be a chance we'll get a few pockets, But we just figured we're here doing what humans have done for thousands of years, hanging with a tribe of people, waiting for this event if they knew it was coming. Maybe they didn't know it was coming, which is another point that I'll talk about. But once they figured out that these things happen regularly, people have been observing them and paying attention to them. And it's kind of a tribal or a communal thing to do. I'm not a social person. My husband's much more social than I am. I'm not social at all. But there's just something about being with a lot of people, not for being in like Disneyland or a place like that, although some people might figure that, but just to be together for a purpose, you know, where there's no...
For the same reason.
Yeah, for the same reason, you know, and there's no complication. It's just to sit in nature and experience an incredible event, you know. And so we parked it and we got a spot and we were kind of paying attention, and every now and then we would get a shot of clear sky.
The partial eclipse.
Yeah, and we could see the eclipse as it progressed, you know, in stages. We didn't see it the entire time, but we could definitely see it in stages. And then at the time of when it goes, we saw it. We saw that it was happening. We saw the slightest sliver, so you know we were able to tell that it was coming really, really, really soon. Now let me tell you, it was a cloudy day. Put your head in here. I mean, they can't. It was a super cloudy day. Thank you very much. It was a super cloudy day, and so we just figured we'd be grateful for the glimpses of, you know, the snippets that we saw through clear sky. We were satisfied. Yeah, we were just happy to see that, right?
But then
we saw the eclipse was just like the tiniest hair of a sliver of the sun showing, you know? And then all of a sudden, it went absolutely 100%
thank you.
pitch freaking black. So black that the city lights, it was like you were in New York City at midnight, you know? Because all the lights from the town, we could see Canada from where we were, you know? All those lights just went on because it was nighttime. I never, did you expect that?
Nope.
I
certainly didn't.
I didn't, like, let me, oh, duh, I should, oh, no, if I can't do that now, because it'll make us be sideways. Darn it, well, I kind of blew it when I did it. But at any rate, we never saw that coming. I mean, we really felt like we were two old people in the hotel all alone. We figured we'd hang out with like-minded people. Nobody was there. So we figured, well, it kind of seems sad to sit in the parking lot by ourselves, you know. So it just seemed like, well, we should probably make an effort. And so we did. We got here without any trouble. And we saw what I would consider one of the most incredible experiences of my life. And it was a freaking cloud. It was a freaking cloudy day. And we never expected it. We never expected the drama that we saw. We just expected never to really know what was going on, except for a few snippets in the sky. But we never expected what happened. I mean, it went, once that last sliver of sun was covered, we could feel progressively how cold it was getting, like from 60% to 70 to 80. Like you could feel it was getting progressively colder. And then when the sun, thank you very much. And then when the sun completely blocked it, the temperature, I mean, it got really cold. I mean, it was very cold. And we knew, you know, and it got totally black.
Oh, so we can eat.
Oh, okay, I'm going to eat. So I'm sorry for so many interruptions, but we weren't being fair to
dinner.
But we weren't being fair to our waitress, so I wanted to pause so we could get all that. I have a few minutes before I have to pause again, but at any rate, you know, let me tell you something. When you get to be older in years, and you have a few experiences where you plan for things and you want something to happen, and you buy the best tickets, and you buy, you know, reservations for the plane and the tour guides, and you know, or whatever it takes, or the boat cruise or whatever. You know, sometimes life will throw in a wrench and then you don't get to do it. And that's happened to us a couple of times in life, you know. So at our age, when we came all the way up here and we saw that it was going to be a really cloudy sky, thank you very much. When we saw it was going to be a really cloudy sky, part of us just didn't want to do anything. We just figured we'd sit in the parking lot. But when it became clear that we'd be the only people sitting in the parking lot, how sad that would be, we decided we got to do something, you know. So we decided we'll just go for broke. And we figured we'd never even get into Niagara Falls town, but we figured, what the hell? If the thing happens, we're in the car, we'll pull over and we'll just look at it from that. You know?
And the parking was free.
So we get all the way over there in like 20 minutes. The parking's free. We had a great experience, as I mentioned. We didn't expect for it to go pitch black. I mean, it went from cloudy to increasingly more chilly and cloudy, and then finally, boom, it was midnight. And it was midnight for about 4 minutes. I mean, it was we never expected that. We figured it would just be kind of dark, We did not expect it to be midnight. So, okay, we weren't in a sunny environment, but don't, for those of you who are young enough to live through the next one in 20 years or whatever, and if you become our age at that point, and you say, I don't want to go, and you plan things and nothing works out, and it's going to be a cloudy day, who wants to do it, do it, because it is a profound experience. Even on an 80% cloudy day, it was a profound experience. And you owe it to yourself, if you can do it, to just do it. And don't let the little voices in your head tell you it's not practical, right?
Make it happen.
So what else were we going to mention?
It's one of the incredible experiences.
Yeah. I think there was another point I wanted to make, so I'll pause, and if I remember, we'll get back on. And as a matter of fact, we're at Johnny Rocco's. Every time we come up to Niagara Falls, we always have dinner here, because we got married standing next to the falls. We got married standing next to the falls outside. It was a great wedding. We just had the kids and my siblings and my mother, and we brought them up here to Johnny Rocco's, which is like, our favorite place when we come to Niagara Falls. It's on the Canadian side. So after the eclipse, we crossed over to the Canadian side, and Johnny Rocco's is on Lundy Drive. Thank you. Lundy Lane. Thank you oh my God, look at that. That looks so good. Look at this dinner he got.
Baby, come on.
I don't know if you can see it, but
all right.
It's an amazing dinner. But at any rate, so we always come here, and so we figured we'd come here tonight. So the best part for me was how, several thousand people. I mean, the whole park was filled with people. The hill where we were sitting probably had several hundred, but there were people everywhere that you could see. So we were there. We were having a communal experience, and I don't know what any of us expected. I guess we just expected it to get a little bit dark, but when it went black.
Black, baby. Midnight.
Midnight black.
Midnight.
Everybody together was like, whoa, we clapped. I mean, it was just, everybody was together, Everybody had a shared, wonderful human experience, and, we should have more experiences like this on the planet, because it was great. It was just
out of this world.
Yeah, literally. It was amazing. It was really amazing. So anyway, I did 3 readings earlier, and if I can recall what the questions were, I want to address them right now. I think one of the first question was, would it clear up? Will we have a decent day? And miraculously we did. There were patches, as I mentioned, of clear sky where we could see the progress of the eclipse. So the cards had said a shared experience that would be fun. There were no cups, so there was no suggestion of rain or so cloudy that you couldn't see it, and we were able to see. My second question was, if I was a woman who lived 10,000 years ago and I'm the same exact personality and everything that I am now, except I didn't understand what the eclipse was, would it frighten me? And I think I had a Queen of Swords and another sword. I forget everything that was there, but and then like a 10 of swords too, and I think the swords were facing down. So excuse me, I think it was all swords, and I think I interpreted it to mean that I would be frightened. Well, up until it happened, I don't think I would have been. Up until it happened, to me it seemed like it was just a cloudy day. Maybe you weren't looking up at the sky because it wasn't pronounced. It was just very subtle because there were only patches, slate patches, right? So if you weren't looking up in the sky, you wouldn't have noticed what was going on. So there was a sense of, I might not have been paying attention. I might have started noticing, it was 3 in the afternoon, something like that, 3:20 in the afternoon when it finally went into full, complete eclipse. But I think it would have occurred to me that it was starting to get chillier than usual, with that there was a dark cloud that was causing it to get cold. And then the sun just went off like it was like a light bulb turning off. And so, yeah, I think we would have been scared out of our minds, you know. And I think there was a couple swords in that spread, so maybe at those days I might have been interpreted as a sign of war from, you know, a bad omen, you know. And then the last question was, will I be here, to see the next eclipse, wherever that is? And the first card, I think, was like the 6 or 8. I think it was like the 6 of Swords. So it seemed nice, you know, but it also occurred to me, because there was a flower in the center, and it occurred to me that maybe it was a signal that I'd be pushing up daisies, because the next 2 cards, one was the Chariot, right, and the other one was a knight who was on a horse. So I figured whoever it is, you know, whoever, I might have passed on by then. So, but I saw it now, man. I saw it now, and it's inside me now. So I'm very satisfied with the experience, aren't you?
Do it all over again tomorrow.
Yeah, it was definitely. So don't ever let your old voice tell you, oh, we can't do it. What's the point? You know, just freaking do it.
Definitely an out-of-body experience.
It just freaking push yourself to do it, you know, and. You know, I think we even only had the opportunity to even get up there and get in there and to get a spot there because so many people didn't bother to show up because they figured it wasn't going to be worth seeing. But man, oh man, oh man, yes, it most certainly was worth it. Until next time, friends, peace, stay well, be kind, and do no harm. So you're going to say something?
Ciao.